Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I have, which is called makeup must-haves. It's gonna be a new little segment, or a little bit of, yeah, kind of like a segment. Every now and then I'll be doing a makeup must-have video. Basically, if you're someone that's starting to do makeup or is wearing makeup and you don't know exactly what palettes you need, well, I have 4 must-have palettes that that you can basically make any look, any look. I mean, basically with palette, of course, you can create many looks, but you don't need about 15-20 palettes, all that. I mean, it's nice to have a collection and everything, but I've noticed from all the palettes that I have, most of the shades that I have there are similar. So I'm going to be showing you guys what 4 must-have palettes you need just to create any type of look. But before getting in this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Become part of the crazy bun-headed family with the cute bow on the side. I know I'm wearing a different shirt. It's Sunday. Decided to put on something different, right? But anyways, let's go ahead and get on to this video. So one of the palettes that everybody must have, basically, when they're starting off with makeup is, where are they? It's your nudes. And anybody that starts off with doing makeup, they should at least have one nude palette. Now, it doesn't matter what brand you have. I have, which is the Maybelline the Nudes palette. I also have, which is the Illuminated by Ashley Tisdale, and of course, it's just your nudes. And of course, if you want to go a little bit more, if you have a budget of certain kind, you can always go with Wet n Wild. It can be any type of nudes. It can be the Urban Decay Naked 3 palettes. It can be any type of nude you prefer, but personally for me, I think having a good nude palette in your starter is a good thing to have, because one, with just having, which is a basic palette like this, or having a Tarte palette or an Urban Decay palette, you can certainly create a whole bunch of looks with this. And plus, you don't need 2 or 3 of the same type of shades like this. With one, you'll be fine, and it's very hard to finish one palette when you have various colors to choose from. So like I mentioned, you can go from either high-end to drugstore, whichever preference you want. But personally for me, having nudes really tops the cake in any type of look. So I really do recommend you guys, if you're starting to do makeup or anything like that, I do recommend getting your first palette, which would be a nude, like I mentioned before. If you want to get like a simple look, like I have the Tarte, I have, which is the Tarte lip palette in Bloom, on my eyes right now. So I've been using that palette for this week, so I like it a lot, and that's the one that I go to the most. Also, another thing, go get a palette that you're gonna use frequently, not just put it away, because I mean, what's the point of having one there? So yeah, anyways, good nude palette. So let's go ahead and get on to a second one. Second palette that anybody must have if you're next to the nudes fans. Now, besides the nudes, of course, there's the Urban Decay 3, which is the rose gold one, and then the blush nudes and all that. Just for your preferences, if you don't like, which is your regular brown nudes, neutrals, and all that stuff, choose one that is perfect for you. The next one is basically one that I've just had. I just bought recently, I think last month, and this is just the only one that I have, but I believe everybody should have at least a good warm tone palette. This is the one from Tarte, and it's the Tarte Lit Toasted palette. And for me, any type of shade like this in red is a good palette to have, whether it be this type or the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I think Anastasia Beverly Hills has some like a reddish type. Anything that has like a reddish type tone palette in here is a good type of for your collection, just because colors usually that come in the nudes, I mean, you can tell the difference obviously from the nudes and then this type of palette, which is warms, that it's they're different shades. But I feel like, I think I did it to my finger. I do recommend people getting, any type of warmer palette that contains any type of reds, because you're trying to experience with color a little bit, but not too much. But we're gonna go ahead and go on to the next one, which will be dealing with color. But I do recommend you guys getting this palette, or not this specific one from Tarte, but any type of red tone palettes or stuff like that. Or if you're just someone that likes to buy individual shades, eyeshadows, you know, go for some, you know, warmer, more kind of like a reddish type tone. So I think that's what's been the trend barely this year, when these came out, when the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette came out, and then the Tarte Toasted, and then so forth and so forth. But there are cheaper ways, not cheaper ways, but there are cheaper palettes, you know, for people to purchase that are similar to the red shades. Now, if you're someone like me that are starting to adventurous more with color eyeshadow, I recommend you guys getting a small eyeshadow, well, small colored eyeshadow palette. Now, you can get any type of bigger size of, you know, this type of reddish tones eyeshadows, or, you know, new palettes. For me, if you're someone that's starting slowly get into color, I really do recommend you getting, which is a small palette with color. Basically, you can get any type of eye color shadow, you know, from the dollar store to, you know, higher brands. But for me, or if anyone that's like experiencing with color, just take it slow on buying or purchasing a palette, just because one, you don't want to spend so much on a palette, put $50 or $60 if you're just going to use it just for a little while. Take your time using color as well, because you're not sure how, you know, basically how it's going to blend and stuff like that. I did that usually in the past, where I would buy palettes full of color and I never used them just because I just ran out of ideas. But use your creativity in using which are colored eyeshadows. I believe that anybody, you know, in the makeup business, or does makeup for a living, or just likes makeup period, you should get one, well, a colored palette, just because one, you're doing makeup, you have a blank canvas, I can't speak, and basically you should just be creative with makeup. I just have this one, which is a Graffiti Nude from Maybelline. I got this in Ulta. This came with it. It's just the Graffiti Nudes from Ulta. Or if you're someone that got, which is the My Little Pony palette, you can get other color eyeshadows from ColourPop. To, if you like Kat Von D, she's always coming out with a whole bunch of cool stuff. BH Cosmetics also has a whole bunch of colorful eyeshadows for, you know, a good price. I just ordered, which is the Zodiac palette and Take Me Back to Brazil palette, which I'll be doing a haul this week, well, this upcoming week, because I ordered that stuff in the mail, so it should be coming soon. But if you're someone like me that got this palette, which is the My Little Pony palette from Pure Cosmetics, I ended up using it just a few times, but I'm back using it a little bit more, just because I want to get creative with the colors. So don't be afraid of using, you know, just a tad bit of color in your makeup, because like I said before, I'm trying to bring back color makeup back, just because one, I think there's a whole bunch of nudes and warm tones and cool tone just videos out there, and I want to bring more stuff like that back into the YouTube world, which is basically makeup tutorials and colored makeup. Another thing that you guys have, if you're someone like a bargain shopper like me and goes to TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, especially TJ Maxx and Marshalls, I got these little Kat Von D Shade and Light quad eyeshadow palettes at Marshalls. I got this at Marshalls. I got 4 of these, which are all 4 of them that Kat Von D has. Cause one, they do have, which is a regular smoky eyes. They do have a green one and this like purplish one. And this is the reason why I bought these, because one, they're super they were a good price for originally what they were. I think yes. And also, when you're buying makeup, you guys, make sure to look well. If you're someone that doesn't want to shop in Sephora and you mostly shop at Ulta, or now that there are more videos out there that are higher end makeup in Marshalls and TJ Maxx, look very carefully for bargains, just because one, I mean, I found this at Marshalls, and I mean, I bought 4 of them and it was good. It was a good purchase that day. Look well for makeup in there, just because one, you never know what you're gonna find. I've seen videos where there's a whole bunch of makeup that used to be in Sephora and stuff like that, and they're bringing it out back into the stores. So just make sure, you know, you guys are out for that. But yeah, if you're someone that wants to experiment with color, go ahead and grab also a color eyeshadow palette, because you never know when you're gonna need it, and plus it can make the eye makeup look more fun. Alright, and for the last palette, which, you know, in your must-have eyeshadow palette quad is, I can't even get it, palettes that have basically all in one. So basically, from what I just showed you, which is your neutrals, your reddish tones, and your colorful makeup, grab palettes if you're sometimes, you know, going to travel. Grab palettes that have, which is all of it, because you never know what happens if you want to do a creative look one day, and if, you know, whatever you're gonna do that day. I have, which is the Nicole Miller palette, the one that I mentioned in one of my videos. I did a look on there, well, 2 looks on there. I think it was a pink and a purple one. And you guys know that you know, one side has your, you know, your neutrals, and then the other side it has, which is of course your color. I like palettes like these because if you're someone that travels like me, I do travel sometimes, not all the times, but once or twice a year. I do like to bring a palette that has basically eyeshadows I'm going to be using, whether it's color, neutral, all in one. Not only I like palettes that have this, but I also have palettes that create, you know, an entire face. But I do recommend you guys getting, which is a palette that has basically everything. If you're someone that, you know, if you want to buy just a regular color palette or just a regular nude palette, you can get one of these. This is the Carly Bible Deluxe Edition palette. This is from BH Cosmetics. And you guys see that you have, which is your warms, you have a little bit of color, which are these, a little bit of reddish, and then you know, it's just a good palette to have. You have your highlighters there too. You know, I like this palette a lot just for the same reason that, you know, it's basically all in one. I just wish it had like a bronzer and a blush, and I would just call this my palette of every day. But I like this palette a lot because, like I mentioned before, it just has your reds, somewhat of your reddish tones. It has your little bit of nudes, and yeah, you can see my phone. Say hi. Yeah, so I really like this palette, and I got this from BH Cosmetics website, and you can also find this in Ulta, maybe, but I don't know. But you can find this right now in BH Cosmetics. But yeah, I think that's about it, you guys. Most of the palettes that I had in my collection are basically the same. I had like a few, some of my Too Faced chocolate bar palettes had some shades that had kind of similar to this. So you're not necessarily needing to buy 2 palettes that have, you know, one shade of the same thing. Go for various ones. Like I mentioned before, you're not going to finish an eyeshadow palette, you know, in an instant. It's going to take time, especially if you have these 4. You're just going to be creating a whole bunch of looks, and trust me, the endless work will be amazing. Trust me. I'm decluttering a whole bunch of makeup right now because with the new year and everything. And guys, if you see a new palette out there that's coming out, just make sure what eyeshadows you have right now, because sometimes we get a little bit hesitant to buy it, and especially because it's just pretty, like the new Too Faced chocolate gold chocolate bar palette. And I think it only comes with 4 mattes, and the rest of them are all shimmers. And I think I saw this pink shimmery one, which kind of look a little bit like this, but excuse me, a little bit more glittery. But I don't know, I might not buy it just because, one, I have a whole bunch of palettes. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I hope this will help out you guys, you know, choosing the right palette. Also make sure to, you know, just look for those bargains. You know, you don't have to spend $60 to, you know, $50 on a palette. You know, you can always get it from, you know, a little bit more less expensive site. But yeah, like I mentioned before, I hope you guys like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below, and share this video, whatever you want to do with it, because I don't care. And yeah, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.